Hello everybody and welcome to this video in which we are going to be looking at creating bar charts using Python code from the matplotlib library. And yes, we've done one, and that's where this is starting on doing that with a simple set of data. But in this video we're going to look at how we can combine this with pandas, and that's where the magic really happens when we start to combine pandas with matplotlib as well. So just as a quick refresher, have a look at this. We've got X and Y data, so X left and right, Y up and down. Flavors is the X data, it's a list of strings, and the categories are the X axis of our bar chart, and then the Y data there, the total numbers of people who said those flavor ice creams. Notice we've imported matplotlib.pyplot as PLT already. And now let's just go back over how we can do a bar. So PLT, we're going to use the bar method. We do the X first, which is going to be flavors. So it's a variable name because we've taken the time to put this data into that variable, and therefore we can just use it nice and cleanly there. And then the Y data, which is again is also saved into a variable, nice and easy. And then of course we're just going to show like that, and we should get very simple bar chart, and we do. And of course we can look at colours and all the rest in a moment, but that was just to refresh how we can do that. Okay, so what if we want to work with bigger data sets? What if we want to work with real world data and we got in our CSV files? Well, we're going to use pandas as well. So let's import pandas as PD. And there's a technique card on how to do this, so please check that out if you want to, and video on it as well. So now we're going to get a data frame, so df is convention for our data frame, and it's going to be, we're going to read from the CSV, this method, and we're going to read in the data from fish, THREATENED.CSV. We're going to read the data in from there, and we're going to create a data frame from it. Okay, fine. Now, if we look at this, right, we've got these lists here for the X and the Y. So we need to change this, right? So we need to now get the data from this data frame, right? So let's just get rid of all of this here and say, okay, well, what do we actually want to do? Maybe we can actually use, so recap some of the other stuff we did with pandas, looking at the data. I mean, yes, I could just click on this, but let's just use some code here to do it. So we're going to print out df, and I'm just going to do the head method, right? And then here, let's get rid of all the, let's actually just comment this out actually, because we're going to use that later. Why is it not commented? Let me just highlight that again, sorry. There we go. Sorry, there's a problem with my keyboard. It's wireless and sometimes the connection's not great. There we go. Got that back. Okay, so we're just going to print the head and we're going to look at that. So let's save it. Yes, fortunately it's working. It could be the batteries. Now let's come back here and let's have a look at that. Okay, so now I could say, okay, what do I actually want to plot out here? So maybe I want to do country, and that'll be my X, and then maybe total threatened. Total number of species threatened could be my Y. So, okay, I can play with the data. So country is going to be my X. So country is going to be my X. What can I do then? Let's just get rid of this a moment. Well, I could think about creating a variable, and we're going to call it countries, I guess. And from the data frame, I'm going to index it to country, like that. Okay, it's fairly straightforward. And that will give us, if we come back here, the country. You see, I'm using the column name, you see, and that's why looking at this and knowing the column names is really important, because now it's going to go, okay, UK, India, France, Japan, Norway. Actually, there's more, because remember, head just gives us 5, but it's going to grab it all and it's going to stick it into this here, countries, this variable. And I said my Y data coming back here is going to be total threatened, this column name, total threatened. So let's just do fish. I know we could do it better, is equal to data frame, and I'm going to index it to, what is it, total, THREATEN. Why did I use that word, threaten? It's really difficult for me to spell every time. Anyway, there we go. I think that was right, was it? Total threatened is the column name. So what I'm doing, point is, I've created a data frame, a pandas data frame, using this method. Please check out the technique card video on it if you're not sure. And then I'm going to use data from that and store it into variables. right? So I'm using the column names to grab the data. Now, why? Because it comes to what we're actually trying to do here, which is this, right? If you remember, we had X and Y here, these variables before. Well, guess what I'm going to do here, right? Yeah, of course, I'm going to replace them with the data I've just pulled from the data frame, which we got from the CSV file, right? Like that. And then, let's just come over here, then we're going to show it using the show method. See? So now the X is going to be the data from the data frame there, from the country column, and the Y is going to be the data from the data frame, the total threatened numbers. So I did just save it. Let's now run that. And lo and behold, I love it. Sorry, I'm cackling, so I just love it. Loads and loads of data pulled through, right? It's actually a lot quicker, isn't it? It's a lot quicker than 2Graph. 2Graph, you'd have to type every single one in manually. This, it's pulling it from the CSV, which has come into the data frame. Rather, it's pulling it from the data frame, which came from the CSV. And of course, you can imagine this can be huge. This is really quite a small data set. This can be huge. And then we can work with the data very, very quickly. It's very powerful. And now we can see some interesting facts about the world. This is real world data about how countries are doing at conserving fish. And straight away we look at this, we say America's not doing very well. Look, America's got 250, there are about 250 fish species threatened. India's not doing very well. All the UK is doing amazingly well. Look at us, look at how well we're doing at conserving fish. Hold on a minute. And this is where we get into the digital change makers and all that. This is for you to think about, is this fair? America's huge, right? India's massive. UK is not, right? Of course, we've got far fewer fish species, so of course it's going to be. So this is where we come to percentages, and we start to work as data analysts and mathematicians. Percentages. Check out the technique card. Check out the deep dive card. Work out percentages. Find out what they are, because that's a fair way to do it. This is not a fair way at all. This is rubbish. This is not fair at all. So let's get rid of it. It was just to show you how you can work with this. But notice I've got percent threatened here. By the way, on the CSV data I'm giving you for that project, I haven't actually worked this out for you because I want you to work out a way to do that yourselves using spreadsheets or other methods, code. You could do it in code as well. But I just did this because I wanted to show, actually, let's have a look at percent threatened. So here, instead of total threatened, I'm going to use percent threatened because that's a much more fair way to look at it and to see what's really going on actually with fish conservation. So now let's save it. A simple fix there. I've just changed the column name. And it's still going into fish. So let's see what happens now when we run it. Different story. Before we were saying how well we were doing. Oh, hold on a minute. When we look at it in a more fair way, actually worst of the lot. Sadly, when it comes to fish conservation, worst of the lot. USA, okay, here, and actually India, we said, was really awful. It's actually doing better than us by percentages, right? And then you start to notice places like Brazil, Australia doing really well. And then of course we start to ask questions, and why is this? And I'm not even going to get into that because that's the fun of the project, and that's for you to work on and get your brilliant brains around. Okay, pretty cool. What can we do? What else can we do with this? Loads and loads and loads. Just a couple of things very quickly. Remember the head method. What if I only wanted to look at the first 8 countries rather than the whole lot in the data set? Well, here, right, or even here, right, because I'll put it into the variable, even here I could call the method on that and say, okay, I just want the top 8. So head, and in here I'm going to put 8, so say 8 because 5 is the default, and here, of course, I'm going to match it to be 8 as well. And now, when we come back here, okay, now we get the 8, right, and straight away you can see how wonderful this stuff is, and we could change the colour, couldn't we? We could change the colour here, draw attention to the UK or to South Korea. We've got 8, of course we could do that, and so on and so forth. In the other card I show you how you can do that using just here colour. So colour is equal to, and then we have a list of colours. Maybe we want the UK to stand out, so we could have something like steel blue, and then the rest could be something light, so light grey, with the American spelling of grey, for example. I'm going to have to do it a few times, so let me just maybe just copy and paste. So I'm just going to grab here and grab this, and the comment as well, Control C, Then here, Control V. Okay, that's looking, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We've got 8, haven't we? So let's do one more light grey. There we go. So that should match up. And now let's run it, see what happens. And now see how cool this is. Now we're starting to really tell the story of the data, and there's a technique card on that as well, deep dive, telling stories with data, because that's now drawing the eye to this, and we're trying to, digital change makers, we're trying to change the world, we're trying to tell people stories and get them to notice what we want them to notice persuasively, right? We're using colour here. I could make South Korea stand out maybe I wanted to do that for whatever reason in my website or whatever it is that I'm doing, and that was here, so maybe I make that pink or something, just to kind of contrast it to the UK. And the sky's the limit with this stuff. This is your creativity, and this is the fun part, right? Of what stories you're telling with the data. What do you want people to notice, and what do you want them to do about it, right? And have an impact on the world and people. My goodness, create your own websites, right? But this is fundamental, really, because now you can save it. You can save it there as a PNG, and then you can import it into your website. Then you can import it into your PowerPoint slides that you're going to present to people. Real world purpose for technology, real world. This is real world. This is used lots and lots and lots in lots of scientific communities, pandas and matplotlib. This is real stuff, right? You're learning some really important and powerful tools here. Cannot stress that enough. It is really important stuff. So go and have some fun with it, apply it to your projects. Hope the video was useful and fun, and until next time, as always, take care.